You're watching Cultish Creative on YouTube. I'm Matt Ziegler. I've got a book review for you. We are talking Good Work. This is the new book by Paul Millerd, right there. Former guest. Just press record. You should check that out. It was really fun. Now, what does a great piece of writing on this topic, on good work, truly look like? What do you think it looks like? And if you're reading a Paul Millerd book, you'd probably expect it to show up inside of that standard upbeat nonfiction style. He's not going to be self-helpy. He's not going to be a consultant, but he's going to make you think. You're going to pepper in a little David White here, a little Agnes Callard over there, maybe a dash of Kelowna or something. You're going to feel good about it, but he's not going to beat you over the head of that. And that's a wonderful thing. It's an established thing. It's something that Paul's been out there really sharing as a genuine voice that's come out since the Pathless Path was released. But the greatest bit of writing on the topic of good work inside of this book, it really surprised me because it shows up at the end and it shows up in fiction. So the epilogue of this book, it's really, really cool, but he slides into fiction. I don't know if Paul's going to do more with this, but I really, really was taken back because I feel like this is the full power showing up in this little stretch of narrative fiction where he wrote this. And I want to read this from the book here. So two characters, an older character and a younger character, talking about kind of the pathless path and good work and all this stuff. So Luke smiles. That would have scared me years ago, but I was so burned out when I quit. I was terrified to have to go back. But I don't really care if I have to take a job now. I do what we need to I do what we need to do for our future family. But to be honest, I see so many other ways of making things work before I have to take a job I hate. That's the key thing for me. I just retired from bad work. I like that idea, says Carlos, bad work and good work. I just retired from bad work is a hell of a sentence. And just because it's recent, or at least it's fresh in the character's mind, retired because it's not coming from anybody you'd traditionally think of saying the word. Again, this is the younger character in this work of fiction saying it. And bad work, which is this acknowledgement that there's more than one type of work one can do in exchange for their time. Sunsetting bad doesn't close the door on good. And that's this kind of from element that's here, this from to element, which is this concept, because if you move from something like retired from bad work, you're moving towards something else. I retired from bad work and walked into good work. Amen. Miller's at his best in this epilogue. It's all coming together, this poetic exploration of words. Now, there's more of this here. And the Dave Whiteisms, I know I'm kind of joking about that earlier, but I mean that. He's finding his voice around these David Whiteisms, and it's really friggin' cool. A couple other examples that were my favorites here. We have ambition, and that's a state of being. In his words, he says, I've come to understand that one of the most ambitious things we can do following our own true path does not feel like we might expect ambition to feel. It does not come with pain or contraction or endless suffering. Instead, it feels light. It feels natural, as if everything you are meant to be doing is obvious, and all you need to do to be ambitious is to simply follow this feeling and stay connected to it. Sloth, another one. It's a character trait we best understand by triangulating around it. This is another thing he's really good at. The opposite of sloth is not busyness. Instead, it is deep and active engagement with our work. As Noah Huisman argues, the word for this is zeal. And I could keep going, but he does free time. He does edge, as in your advantage or the thing that gives you one up on somebody else. He does delusional, and he does so many more across 220 odd pages. But what makes good work the most special is that Paul's got this consulting trained brain with this curiosity tuned soul. We saw it start in Pathless Path. We see it formed here. Now, of course, a word like sloth can have this whole puzzle of meaning around it. Of course, ambition is this complex web of emotional attachments, and we watch him as he battles through it, and we read his personal stories, we hear them, we feel them. And of course, good work is about the weight and nuance of a simple word like good conveys that your English teacher tried to beat you out of using in your high school literature class. But the Pathless Path might have been a step from blogging to book writing for him, and his voice being as influenced as it was becoming influential. But this book, But Good Work, is the product of a well-refined writing habit over time. I respect the hell out of this. I respect what he put together. I love seeing him dive into fiction and some other stuff at the end, because these words are puzzle pieces. And I'm going to say it again. He's got that consulting trained brain. He just knows how to do this in this curiosity tuned way. Good work. Favorite thing yet, PaulMillerd. Keep them coming. 10 out of 10. Pathless Path. Look PaulMillerd up anywhere. Millerd. He's the man. Check out our Just Press Record, and I'm out.